So who here knows what a pyramid scheme is? Okay. And just out of curiosity, who here has been a part of a pyramid scheme? Okay, I see a few hands up. Awesome. So for those of you who don't know, a pyramid scheme is a business where your friends or family recruit you, and then you go out and recruit your friends and sell them stuff. And these types of businesses usually have weekly meetings, and there's really friendly, excited people there. There's coffee in styrofoam cups and plastic folding chairs. And there's usually some kind of presentation where a guy or girl gets up and they tell you about how amazing and wonderful this company is, and how happy and successful they are to be part of this organization, and how you too can be just as happy and successful if you decide to join. Well, guess what? I was the guy making that presentation. I was selling the dream of joining a pyramid scheme. I see a bunch of you shaking your heads, and you're probably thinking, you look like a decent guy. Why would you do such a thing? Well, let me tell you why. My family and I moved here when I was 14 from India, and we loved the life here. We bought into the consumer mindset, fell for the trap of easy credit, and lived way beyond our means. By the time I was 21 years old, my family had racked up $100,000 of debt, and that was outside of our mortgage. And like any good Indian kid, I was given the option of becoming a doctor or a lawyer. So I chose to pursue law. I was in university at the time, learning about law and politics, and at home, I was learning about scary things like bankruptcy and consumer proposals. And I wanted to help my family get out of this financial mess, but I was working retail at the time, making minimum wage. And I was at least 10 years away from making a six-figure salary at a swanky law office. Then one day I got a phone call. A man called saying he was a friend of a friend, and he was very excited. He wanted to tell me about this opportunity to make an extra $2,000 a month working part-time. I was intrigued. That was a lot of money for me back then. So I asked him, how can I do that? And he said very confidently, just come to this meeting and everything will make sense. I said okay, and agreed to meet him. Next Tuesday, I drove all the way to Burlington and came for my very first meeting. And as they say, the rest is history. I joined the business that very night. I saw an opportunity there to learn about financial services, help my family get out of debt, and also help other families like mine. It was a win-win situation, and I took the risk because the reward was right in front of me. A few months later, I dropped out of university and joined the business full-time. And I put myself on a strict schedule. I would cold call every day from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. From 12 to 5, I would go prospecting for new recruits to join my business. In the evenings, I would eat dinner in my car while driving to sales appointments. This was my life as a 21-year-old. And I saw success. I even got a promotion. But inside, I started hating myself. I hated the person I had become. Everyone that I met was a potential client or a potential recruit, and hopefully both. And finally, after a year and a half, I quit. I realized that the dream I was chasing was an impossible one and accepted my defeat. But wait, where's the happy ending? You guys thought that I would get up here and tell you about how I sold enough life insurance as a 22-year-old to save my family from bankruptcy. Well, sadly, that didn't happen. My family and I were broker than before. But guess what did happen? I became rich. I became rich in experience. Not many 22-year-olds have successfully failed at their own business. While my friends were figuring out their plans for the weekend, I was out in the real world developing my business skills. Taking that risk forever changed my life, because I realized that if I can work this hard at something that I hate, I can work this hard at something that I love. And that was 10 years ago. Today, I have a popular YouTube channel. I'm a working actor. In fact, I shot a commercial this morning. And I don't tell you this to impress you, but rather to impress upon you that risk does have its rewards. But oftentimes the rewards aren't what we think they're going to be. We think reward is a successful outcome of taking a risk. And when that doesn't happen, we get frustrated. But what if we change the meaning of reward? What if reward was the growth that we experience as a result of taking that risk and stepping outside of our comfort zone? This approach is known as being process-oriented. And I've used this approach in the last 10 years to make some of the biggest decisions in my life that have led me to the highest highs and the lowest lows. But this approach has taken away the fear of failure, because I realize that success or failure is not dependent on the outcome, but rather in the growth that I experience as a result of taking that risk and expanding my comfort zone. So if you are looking to make some changes and perhaps take that risk that you know you want to, maybe this approach can make that decision a little bit easier. So go forth and give it your all. And as the Japanese say, ganbatte.